Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Clint Cash. On this video, I want to get it in talking about social media. Talking about social media and how it changed us and what it's actually doing to the soul body. And I'm gonna get right into it. One thing about the internet, what it's doing is creating an illusion within another illusion. It's making extra layers of ourselves. What do I mean? Basically, we already in an illusion. Believe it or not, the universe that we are living in now is this world, I should say. I'm going to separate. You got two things. You got the world and you got the universe. So there's two things. The universe is the guidance. The world will be considered as the illusion. And what social media have done is basically created a world inside of another world. The world that we create is created from our ego. That's how our world is created. When you go into a tune with the universe, you have no physical shell. You're straight spirit. That's why a lot of people talk about God and the universe, because it's straight spirit. What brings us into the world is our own ego, our own duality, a chance to be separated. And it's not bad. It's not bad. We are here in a physical shell to learn. Remember that. We are here in a physical shell to experience separation. So we find ourselves. So that we find the oneness within ourselves, because when it's all said and done, we are one. Believe it or not. We are one. So the world, when you come into the world, is your ego that tells you, okay, I want to experience this separation so I can find myself, because I might not agree with this person, or I might not agree with the oneness. I want to pretty much branch out on my own. So the world created ego. Then this ego is creating an illusion, which you think that is your true self, but is not the true self. And I'm just going to break down the ego, because one thing about the ego, you need the ego. The ego, you need it, but you do not identify with the ego. At some point in time in your life, you have to drop the ego. But the ego is there to give you the confidence, the self-esteem to move forward, to know you as an individual, to make you unique, to be able to know who you are. That's what the ego is. But when you deal with the ego, you got to learn that you must drop the ego. You have to drop the ego, because then you got to learn, after you learn who you are, that's the purpose of the ego, you have to drop the ego and get more into what they call your heart space of thinking. And the heart space of thinking is basically the oneness that you see within yourself and everybody else in the world, in an illusion. You start to see things as the same. When you're dealing with consciousness, it's just you taking the ego and using it for its proper use. What you see, everything is different. And when you get the understanding and overstanding, when you go into your heart space, you start to see that everything is the same. And able to do that, you have to drop the ego. The ego is supposed to die. So that's the illusion that you must master. What's happening is we are creating a thing called social media. And the danger of social media is that it's creating a bigger ego. It's creating a bigger ego, and it's creating unsuccessful life purpose dealing with the world. Because when you're dealing with the world, your thing is to master the ego in a physical shell. So since you cannot do that, you use imagination when you're dealing with social media. That's why a lot of people can be whoever they want to be in social media. They can change their looks according to social media. A lot of people feel beautiful. Some people feel rich through social media. Something that they could not manifest in the real, what they would call the real world, or reality, or their reality, physical reality, I call it, and try to do it online. And this is all building ego. So they may get the push to try to understand what they really want to become. This could be very detrimental, because dealing with the ego, and the reason I'm telling you, got to drop the ego, because you're getting to your true self when you drop the ego. The ego is only to teach you true self, and after that you start learning the connection. Everything corresponds. That's one of the Hermetic 7 principles. Everything start to correspond. Everything start to become oneness. You cannot do that if you create an illusion within an illusion. That can't be done, love. And the thing about social media is that they just created another layer of themselves, and that's how you send your soul to damnation, because the whole purpose is to become one again. But a lot of times in our life, we create layers. The more layers you create of yourself, the more identities, egos, same thing, that you create yourself, the farther you are getting to the getting away from the oneness. Because as you start, when you become conscious, you start to knock off the layers of yourself and become one. So basically, the internet is another tool for you to create another layer of yourself. Step and bring yourself farther away from the light. So social media can be very detrimental to some. A lot of people use it. Like for me, I use my social media for these purposes that I speak about, to try to get people to change their mentality and their perspective. That's a start. If you could change the mentality and the perspective, that's great dealings. You can go very far with that. But let's not use the social media to create more layers of something that we are not, or something that we know we should not become. Because we are feeding off of everybody else's energy within that social media, and it's very negative. It's very negative. You know, we're looking at people that we want to become. So at the same time, we're gaining ego and then we're losing ego, because we still want to become something that ain't us. So then not alone you create a layer of the ego of your own self, then you create another layer because you're trying to be somebody else. So you just got layers on top of layers. And then at the end of the day, you don't even know who you are. If they decided today to shut down social media, you will not know who you are. You'd be lost, because you was living into another world, another creation that you made. You made another layer to yourself. And when they cut that layer off, you're done. You don't know how to function. It's just like in your personal life. You create layers every day. You create layers with a job, friends, all these things. All these things that might turn you to the other direction of knowing yourself, that's a layer. When you start to go inner and cut off the layers, now you your true self. Now you can go out into these illusions and be able to succeed. Because that's what it's about, succeeding in the Matrix. This was the whole Matrix, the first Matrix movie was about. What is the Matrix? Knowing what the Matrix is and going out there and succeeding it and fighting your true purpose. So thanks a lot, guys. I want to say love and peace.